welcome to Jedi Jingle Maker. In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 things that I recommend you do to modify your Telecaster. In this case, I have a Telecaster inspired guitar by Firefly from their classic series called an FFTL, and it's a beautiful playing machine. I have lots of videos on that if you'd like to see the video all about this guitar and the other Firefly FFTL I bought. Then go ahead and check out the video at the end of this video. However, in this video, we're just going to talk about features, and this will work on just about any Telecaster style, whether it be Squier, Fender, or otherwise. You can upgrade these things on all of those guitars. So let's dive right into it. But before we do, I'd like to say please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Let me know what you think. If you have a Firefly, or you have a Telecaster from Fender, or you have some other Telecaster, what kind of modifications have you done? And what do you think of what I've done or I recommend? Thanks for watching. Let's get right into the video. Okay, the first thing I always change on all my guitars, but also on this guitar specifically, are the tuning machines. You can see these are beautiful gold tuning machines. The tuning machines that were on there were silver. And I bought Hipshot open gear locking tuners. Aren't they beautiful? And they have that squared off finish. They work great. They're 18-to-1, and I would recommend that as the first step. Why locking tuners? Well, first of all, they do make it slightly more stable, so you have no slack around the post as you tune with string. But the other thing is it just makes string changes so easy. If you can see, these are not even wound around the peg at all. You just one turn and you're good to go. So it makes string changes 10 times faster. That's one of the things I really don't like to do on guitars, is change the old style ones. And this just makes it easy, and then I know I've got the assurity, if it's good tuners, that they'll hold tune. So that's the first thing you should upgrade. Now let's look at the second thing you should upgrade on your Telecaster style guitar. Next thing is the nut. Here it is. See how that nut there looks a little dirty? You see it's almost a little black? That's graphite lubrication I have in that nut. Now this is a Firefly roasted maple neck. Look at the way that flame changes as I turn the angle of the camera, but it's really cool. This guitar came with a bone nut, and you want a nut that is as hard as possible. This guitar came with a bone nut. Most guitars at the inexpensive range will come with a plastic nut. Even some of the slightly more expensive guitars come with a plastic nut. My advice is to replace that with something very hard. Bone is good, graphite is good. Sometimes people use brass, but you just want to make sure no matter what you use that you file it enough on the inside so that there's no rough points in the nut and that they're all at the right place. And that's its whole own science. There's lots of videos on the internet about that. You might need to take that into a guitar tech if you have a plastic nut. I claim it's something well worth doing. One of the things I love about Firefly is it already comes with a bone nut, takes that whole thing out of it. Now, it can be a bone nut that's not cut right, so that could be the other issue you have to face, but by and large, I've had good luck with them. Now on to the third thing, and I think really the heart, the beating heart of a Telecaster, which are the pickups. Now there are a lot of Telecaster pickups, so I will leave you to your own devices to try to look through and decide which one works. I picked this as an experiment in this one to see what it would sound like. 2 Chinese Alnico pickups off of Amazon that I found, made in China Alnico pickups. Like 30 bucks, people had raved about them. Put them in, and I'm going to tell you, I love the tone that they create. I really like it. It's kind of dynamic. It's got enough output, twangy enough. I really like them, so I don't know. I might try other pickups moving forward, but I got the gold style lipstick pickup up there. This was silver pickup prior. I think it goes well with the brass saddles on this one, and that brings me to the fourth thing that I think you should upgrade, which is the brass saddles. If you don't have brass saddles, this one came with brass saddles. I foolishly also upgraded them to other compensated brass saddles, but I think the ones that were in there originally were just as good, so it didn't really change anything. This guitar, luckily enough, intonates very well. That's the thing with these barrel style, classic vintage style bridge saddles, is that you have to share the intonation height between 2 strings, so you can't sometimes get it exactly perfect. And I'll just say to you perfectionists, that's probably going to bother you. It bothered me a little bit. But now that I have 2 of them and they both are really close to perfect, I am not complaining. And I guess that's the art of it, right? It's just letting go and enjoying the Telecaster goodness. You know, they say once you buy a Telecaster style guitar, you will likely buy many more, because it's the kind of addictive quality of these instruments being so simple, being really one of the very first instruments that were ever created in terms of an electric guitar, and they are still absolutely rock solid. machines, which I love. And the fifth thing I would recommend changing is to get all new, brand new electronics. Go ahead, there's all kinds of resources. You could just buy your own off of parts sites and solder them together with a diagram. That's fun if you got that kind of level of commitment. You could also buy the the solderless types that many companies sell, like Guitar Fetish and others. Those are good. You can even try out their pickups if you have that kind of system, quite easily plug and play. You could also buy pre-wired setups that you can get at Sweetwater and all over the place, like I think they're Mojo Tone. There's like pre-wired. So Telecaster is such a common guitar that if you get the solid electronics by a reputable company, you might pay a little bit more. You could pay Guitar Tech to do it, but you have all new, good functioning, good taper, tone knob, all the solder connections correct. Just have it. On a guitar like this, you can depend on the electronics being janky. Just every time it's been like, oh no. So I won't get into the details of it, but I just say replace it all. Now, I haven't done that on this one. I kind of just resoldered things to other things and made it work. But at some point, I'm going to need to do that. And that's one of the remaining modifications I have for this guitar. And my fifth tip for you on what to change on your Telecaster guitar. Now, if you've stayed to this part of the video, I greatly appreciate your attention span. I'm amazed by it, and I hope you will subscribe to Jedi Jingle Maker. Also, leave a comment. Hit the thumbs up button and let me know what you think about my recommendations. And stay tuned for other videos coming very soon. Oh, it's a hot day out there.